All right, now we're ready to start the video. Now we're ready, because what I got here is a situation, guys. How y'all doing out there? This is Pete, and what we're looking at today, we're looking at a buffing kit that I'm going to show you. Now, I recently purchased a, let me get back in. How y'all doing today, guys? You doing all right? Good. We got a buffer here. I'm going to show you how to use this thing. It's an awesome tool. And the reason I say that is because I purchased a Harbor Freight buffer. It was an electric one. And I mean, I was impressed with it, but I wasn't really excited to own it. I took it back. Go into the video archive, you'll see that. It's a little cordless buffer situation. It's a grinder / buffer type deal. And I thought that it was a great tool, and believe it or not, there's actually other companies that are making this thing. Matter of fact, I think it's the same company with a different sticker on it. Sorry about that. I thought we were going to be getting loud today, but we're not. So I got to put my tooth, for anybody that doesn't know, I had some implants put in, and I'm saving my pennies so I can get the crowns put on. So I got to wear this, or I look like that. When I get loud, I don't want to spit my tooth out, so I'll take it out. I got loud a little while ago about a situation that we don't want to go into, because I'm trying to be the happy guy today. We're on D.I.Y Auto School. We're not over at SWRC, my friend Pete. And at D.I.Y Auto School, we try to keep it low key if possible. But what we're looking at today is, if you look behind me here, or should I say right here, what I've done is we color sanded the top of this dashboard, and then inside you can see that we went ahead and color sanded the pillar, the rear window pillar. That's been color sanded down. And then Minnie the Body Shop girl went ahead and spot sanded the rear window package tray pillar to match. Now what we did is we went down to 1500. We started with 1500, and I'm going to come up here because this is getting a better look at it. So we started with 1500. Minnie the Body Shop girl hand sanded that, wet sanded it down. Then after that, she took a 3000 DA pad, 3000 grit DA pad, and she hand sanded that with the 3000. And if I get just the right angle, I don't think it's going to do it. You'd be able to see how highly polished that really is. I don't know. We can't do that. But anyway, 3000 grit is our final sand job on that. And she did an awesome job. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a product that we're going to use on that. Because normally what I'd do, I'd get my big buffer out, my 7-inch buffer. And then I would buff that dash and all these little pieces here. Yeah, you can see how highly polished Minnie got that by hand. So she did a really good job, and this is going to be a beautiful car. This is what it takes if you want to do it right. And I'm going to go ahead and get loud just for a minute. I hope y'all don't mind. Get my camera set up. How y'all doing today? Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit loud, so we are going to take that out. And I didn't want to. I didn't want to get loud, but I'm going to, okay? And this is what it's about. We're talking about how long and you know, it's taking to do this, okay? I believe Minnie worked on this for about 3.5 hours, color sanding the dash and the little pieces, maybe 4 or 5 hours. So you get these turd mouths, you get these what can we call them here? Let's come up with a real good name. Turd mouth. Okay, that's a good one. I like that name. Okay, but you come up with these jackwads. Okay, jackwagon jerks. And what they do is they say, why does it take so long? I can do that. I don't understand. You've had this car here for this long a time. And it takes that long. So when you do that to a guy like me, you're insulting me. You're making me feel and look like I'm a dumbass, which I'm not. You're the dumbass because you're the one that's jealous because you don't own the car and you're just coming up with some bullshit, stupid excuse of, oh, it's taking that guy too long. Have you ever done this work? No, you haven't. Shut up. I'd like to go ahead and do a shout out for our buddy Jeff Woods up in Indiana, I believe. And you can look him up on Facebook. He used to put YouTube videos up. I believe he stopped doing that. But he does have a Facebook, Jeff Woods. And I would say that he is one hard friggin' worker. All right? He basically has a one-man shop like me. And I believe he might have one or two helpers. But he called me the other day and he said, I don't know what to do, Pete. I get these people in here. I'm restoring these cars. I'm working my ass off 7 days a week. And, I had a guy come in my shop and said, hey, ain't that the car you had there 4 months ago? Yeah, it is the car that I've had here 4 months ago. Yes. Have you ever restored a car like this? Jerk off, turd mouth.
Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
If you want to get down to it, here's a car that I've had in my shop for over 8 years. Well, I don't even know how long it's been. Been a long time. Do I need to tell you the story why it's here? No, I don't. It's none of your friggin' business. Watch the videos. All right? What I do on my property, on my concrete, with my feet and my hands and my mouth is my business. How long it takes me to do this job is between me and the owner, not you. How long it takes me to the body shop girl to color sand some paint on a dashboard is her business, not yours. So I'd like to do a big shout out for our buddy Jeff Woods up there and tell him, don't worry, you're gonna get jerk-offs all the time. And most of these people that complain about whatever you're doing are usually jealous people because they either can't do it, they don't want to do it, or they don't have the facilities to do it, or they wish they could do it, but the situation is they can't do it. Back to the story here. Yeah, let me do this first. Okay. All right, we're back to normal. Thank you guys for understanding. So what we're talking about here, we're talking about buffing paint. Now, in a situation like this, I'm not going to get my big buffer out. I could get my big buffer out, but using my big buffer is going to make a big mess. Does that make sense? I'm using a pad this big. I got that thing set at 1,800 RPM. It's slinging that wax and buffing compound all over the place. I mean, we're talking about floors, walls, and auto part, everything else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this thing right here. Now this little kit right here costs approximately 20 bucks. Now I was telling you about the Harbor Freight $120 electric sander. You don't need it, people. You don't need it. Don't buy it. It's a waste of money. Let me show you why. I forgot a tool, okay? But I'm gonna show you why. Because if you got an air compressor, you got an air drill, okay? If you got an electric cordless drill, okay, you got the means to use this right here, all right? You don't need to buy all those high-tech fancy, this tool's made specifically for that. Now, we're not gonna use this, okay? I'm gonna leave it out. We're gonna try it. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna focus on this little kit right here, and I'm gonna show you how convenient this is and how, what can we say, accurate and precise something like this can be having in your toolbox. All right, so what we're gonna look at here, we got this kit. It's called the Micro Buffing Polishing Starter Kit. All right, you're looking at about 20 bucks. You can go to your local paint and body shop supply store and they have them on the shelf or hanging up. And what it consists of, let me open that up. All right, you got a wool pad. You got a other wool pad, which I don't usually use the yellow ones. This is a coarse wool pad right here, then this would be a soft wool pad. And then it comes with 2 foam pads. All right, but the main thing that it comes with is the Velcro holder that holds all these pads. Do you see that? Now, what we're going to use that on is we are going to use our air drill. Now, I did tell you, if you remember correctly, I said you can go ahead and use your electric drill if you want. But the situation you have with the electric drills is you got to have a good electric drill that's got pretty good RPM. And if you don't have a drill that's got good RPM, it's not really going to be an accurate buff. It will buff out, you will get it buffed, but it's going to take 2 to 3 times longer than using an air drill that's got the high 90 PSI plus air pressure going through it. So we're going to take this adapter and we're going to screw that on there, or we're going to tighten it on there. And this actually has a screw bit tip that goes onto a tool. I don't know what kind of tool it would be because I've never bought the tool that this actually goes on. I've always done it just like this. And then what we're going to do, we're going to take our coarse wool pad, which is our white pad. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but I've already used this pad before, so I have to clean that off. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to take my hand and I'm going to get that old dry wax off of there. Now you're probably asking me, now what happens when those pads wear out? Do I got to buy a whole other kit? No, you don't. Your automotive paint and body shop supply store should sell these individual. Now, once again, I don't use the yellow pad. I very rarely ever use the yellow pad. And I also don't use this yellow polishing pad. Let me tell you the difference between these. This one is one of them's more coarse than the other one. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's this one or this one. I don't know, because to me they're both foam. I'm believing this is a more coarse foam due to the fact that it seems a little harder, and this is a finer foam. So the only 2 pads that I use in this kit normally is the coarse wool pad, and then I use the fine black foam pad. And then what I'm using here, I'm using 3M rubbing compound. We don't have fancy high-tech names for our wax. We're not into, beautiful bottles that have designs all over them that are super bright and they're going to attract you to buy it. We're using good old-fashioned 3M rubbing compound. And what I'm going to do is look what I'm doing here, guys. All right? Now, I put enough on there that I'm going to be able to buff it out, but I also put enough on there before I turn my buffer on. What I will do is I'm going to rub it in. And I'm going to take my pad and I'm going to disperse the wax where it needs to be. You see how I'm doing that, everybody? Okay, and my pad just came off. Let's go ahead and put that back on. One more thing about using this, you have to use it in a forward turn. Don't ever use it in reverse. If you got a reverse drill, forward and reverse, make sure that it is in forward and not, forward and not reverse. So now that we've loaded our pad and we've also spread the wax out, we're gonna go ahead and give this a little buff. One more thing I want to tell you, you can also see that the wax is not flying everywhere. That's because I went ahead and dispersed it into my pad and spread it out on the item that I'm buffing. I'm gonna go ahead and get it just one more time now. If you noticed, I was buffing it this way. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my buffer and I'm gonna go back and forth. And I can say that feels just like glass. And if you notice, this is in real time. I think I sped it up just a little bit just to kind of take us out of the mode of, gosh, I wish he'd hurry up situation. But you can see that what I'm doing here, one thing I'm going to tell you right now, okay, to do this properly, you have to sand it with 3000. It has to be a 3000 sand job to get it right. But you can see I'm not using a lot of wax on this. I'm going to take my buffer, I'm going to hand buff it just like this real quickly. And I'm trying to stay away from that speaker. I don't want to get any wax in that. So once we've done that, now we can proceed to go ahead and finish out our buff job on our dashboard. Now, one thing I want to go ahead and say, when you're using this buffer, it's very important that you buff it until you don't see any wax. And if you look right here, see the residue of the wax buildup? All right, so when you're using the little buffer, when you're using this buffing system that I'm showing you here, you want to go ahead and, buff that until that's all gone. In between, you're going to want to take your hand, kind of just give it a light rub over. And what that's doing, that's kind of taking the wet wax off of, the wet compound off of the pad itself. Well, let's go ahead and finish this up. All right, look at that. That looks beautiful. What we're going to do now is we're going to switch over to our other pad. We're going to take our wool pad off and we're going to get our foam pad. We're going to go like that, and I can't reach that wax. I'm going to have to go all the way over. And then what we're going to do here is we are going to shake up our cleaner. I call this swirl remover and cleaner. This is a polish. This is a 3M Perfected number 2. Now I use the number 2 on everything. The number 1, throw it in the trash. Actually, a number, what they do is they give you these numbers to make it like, oh, I got to do all these steps, so I got to spend more money. You don't. Okay? Looky here, guys. Rubbing compound. You understand what I'm saying here? That's all you need. It's over. Now, what we'll do here is we're going to take this, and that's all we're going to use. That's it. Very, very little. This bottle This bottle of polish will probably buff 10 cars. You can see how much I used right there, just a drop of it. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take our foam pad and we're going to wipe it on there just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and buff it on there. But the main thing is you got to make sure that this stays on your drill. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to show you this. I want to show you how beautiful this is when I get done. So what you just saw, normally I would stop right there until I was actually completely 100% done with the car and I was going to the detail process of delivering it to the customer. But since we're making this video, I want to go ahead and show you how I will finish this out in the end. So we saw that we used our wool pad first. We came back with our foam pad using the black foam pad. We used rubbing compound, you can see that up there, and that's just 100% 3M good old-fashioned rubbing compound. And then we came back with the machine polished black. Don't use the white. White will chalk up and it will have a hell of a time. Get the black. That's all you need, those two products. This is basically done, but I want to go ahead and take it one step further, and I want to show you, once the car's done, what does my friend Pete do to ensure that that paint job is a high quality paint job when the customer receives it. And if we look at this bottle right here, all right, it's number 21, Meguiar's number 21 synthetic sealant. This bottle that you see in my hand, the reason I got it like this, there's a crack in the side right here. The bottle that you see in my hand will last you the rest of your life. You can only buy this stuff at automotive paint and body shop supply stores. You can't buy it at your local auto parts store. So I got a bottle of it right here. And like I said, that bottle will last forever. They don't sell it in little squirt bottles. You got to buy this size right there. It's number 21. And then what you do is you take 2 rags, and then with 1 rag, now I want to show you this. I'm just going to go like this with it, guys. Look at there. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm going to show you. Do you see the amount of wax I used? Do you see that? That's it. That's probably enough to do this whole dash, to be honest with you. We're going to take it like this and we're going to swirl it. Just like if we were waxing our car. All right. Just like if we were waxing our car. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit more because that really wasn't enough to do the whole dash. So I'm going to take just a little bit more of that. And I'm going to go over there and get that side of the dash. And when we're all done building the car and it's ready for delivery for the owner, Minnie the body shop girl does the whole car like this. The whole car inside and out, whatever's painted. I'm just doing this to show you what we do. So what we'll do is we'll let that sit for about, I don't know, approximately a minute. Maybe 2. All depends on the weather. This is basically like an on and off wax. You swirl it on and you wipe it off, okay? And I can already see that it's already ready to come off right here. So we're going to take our clean rag and then we're going to wipe that down. We're going to put a little pressure to it. We're going to get it nice and clean, people. And what this is doing, this is removing any and all wax or cleaner residue that was left behind from buffing. Just leave it on there for about, I don't know, a minute or so. Like I said, it depends on the temperature. If it's cold out, yeah, you're going to leave it on there longer than that. But as you can see, we have us a brand new, beautiful, show quality dashboard that's ready to finish out. So if you're looking for a nice, efficient, and accurate and positive way to use your buffing needs to your advantage, I suggest that you invest in one of these little kits right here. Very, very good, very, very accurate. It's made by SM Arnold and made in America. You can see that right there. Under 20 bucks, guys. Under $20. And that's what you get right there. And then, of course, to finish it off, McGuire's 21 synthetic sealant. Trying to get this car down, get it out of my shop. Because I don't want people bitching and hollering because I've had it too long. And they don't know the reason why it's been here this long. But they're bitching and hollering and whining and crying. Because the car's been in my shop too long and they don't own the shop. And they don't have nothing to do with my shop. And they don't have nothing to do with my life. But they know how to bitch and complain about stupid shit that they don't have nothing to do with. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.